Are the majority of women, well, 99.9% of women, interested in other women? Because that's what a caller on the programme with Jeremy the other night had to say.
Inside every woman is a closet lesbian.
Yeah, completely.
Would you agree with me?
Yeah, completely.
There might be something...
Every single girl has a little tiny fancy, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, every single woman has lesbian tendencies. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
But what percentage of women would you say have lesbian tendencies?
99.9%.
99.9%.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, well, roughly 99.9%, she says, are women who, well, want to be with other women. Are closet lesbians, secretly fantasise about being with another woman sexually. And we want to try and find out how true that is. 6797104 is our telephone number. Gina, you're on FM104. How are you, Gina?
Grand, thanks.
Well, Gina, what's your view on all this?
Well, yeah, I reckon, like, women, pretty much most women are, like, do actually fancy other women.
Fancy other women as in can appreciate that they're good looking, or fancy them like a bloke would and want to shag them?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, like, that they'd want to be with other women, and yeah, pretty much.
So you would describe yourself as what? As a straight woman?
Yeah.
And do you fancy other women?
Yeah. I'd like, you know, like the way lads check out women, like, yeah, I'd check out women.
You would check out women in the same way?
Well, yeah. Yeah.
And could you ever see yourself being with another woman?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Like, I've been with a woman, but I don't know, like, if I'm not single, so therefore I don't know.
So hang on, you have been with a woman?
Yeah.
Now, when you say been with a woman, are you talking about just snogging her, or more than that?
Snogging her anyway.
Snogging her anyway, and
yeah.
Leave the rest to my imagination then, yeah? And how did it happen? Like, how did it come about?
I don't know, it just kind of happened.
But how does that just kind of happen? Do you know what I mean? Without one of you actually pursuing it, I'm just like, you know, I've been out with loads of lads and nothing like that has ever just kind of happened.
Yeah, well, I don't know, it's just like...
Like, were one of you a lesbian, or was it just something you both got into?
Something we both got into, like, we were both straight, like, and just happened.
It just happened?
Yeah.
And you just got to get... And what was it like? I mean, you know that song, I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It. Did you like it?
Yeah.
You did like it?
Yeah.
And what makes it...
I don't know, it's just different, like, than kissing a man or whatever, like, you know.
Well, you don't get beard rash for starters.
Yeah, that's true.
That's one obvious advantage, I would have thought. What else? I mean, you see, I can't imagine. I'll be honest with you. I'm a straight bloke.
Yeah.
And you know, I can appreciate a good-looking bloke.
Mhm.
But I can never imagine myself kissing one. Ah. Seriously, like, no, I'm not being smart or offensive to gay people or anything, but I just couldn't imagine myself kissing a bloke.
Us women just think differently, I guess.
So is it an appreciation of that women are able to appreciate women an awful lot more? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I'd say that could be one part of it, all right.
All right, we'll stay there for 1 second. Jade, you're on FM104. How are you, Jade?
I'm fine.
Now, Jade, according to that girl that was on the show the other night, 99.9% of women secretly fantasise about being with another woman.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't?
No.
Not in the slightest?
No.
Have you ever even been vaguely attracted to a woman?
No.
Not at all?
No, that's just horrible, that is.
It's just horrible?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you one thing. You wouldn't believe the amount of women ringing in now to say, oh yeah, I can definitely fancy other women.
They were just lesbians, so I don't.
But you, Gina, wouldn't describe yourself as a lesbian, no?
No, I'm straight.
You're straight?
She was a bit bored, though.
She did say that, yeah.
Yeah, I've been with a woman, but I'm straight.
You've been with a woman, but you're straight?
Yeah.
You see, if a bloke was to say that, this is where I think there's a bit of a difference. If a bloke was to say, I've been with a bloke, but I'm straight...
Yeah, it wouldn't sound the same.
Well, it certainly wouldn't, no. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if somebody brought out a song, I kissed a guy and I liked it, people would go, Jesus, what's that all about?
I don't know, just with women it's just different.
It's just different. Well, okay, stay there for 1 second. 6797104 is our telephone number. 99.9% of women, according to a caller on our programme the other night, fantasise about being with other women. Now, Amanda, I'm fascinated by you because it says on my screen here that you're straight, but you're dying to have a lesbian experience.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I wouldn't mind it. It's just a fantasy of actually, everybody has a fantasy, and I just wouldn't mind actually trying it.
Why?
I don't know, it's just, well, they do say a woman can please a woman, better than what a man can please a woman, so...
Well, not if you haven't trained well enough.
That's true, yeah. No, I just have this fancy of actually trying it.
And is it because you've seen it in movies, or is it because you've... I'm just curious as to why, because again, and I'm not being homophobic in any way, but I've never ever fantasized about being with another bloke.
Yeah, but that's different,
Well, yeah, but why? That's what I'm trying to get to that's what I'm trying to understand here.
Well, I've seen it on movies and people talking about it and stuff like that, and the more you actually think about it, which I have, you know what I mean? It's just, it seems exciting, but it's the only thing is though, what I'd be thinking is, what way would you actually approach it? You know what I mean?
Well, Gina, when it happened with you, how did it happen? Amanda, I'll be honest with you, I've had this conversation with a woman before who, like yourself, would love to try it, but didn't know how to go about it.
Well, see, it's hard to actually, you know what I mean, approach a woman, or if there's a lead to straight to it, or what way, do you know what I mean?
Well, it's just we were good friends, and it just kind of happened there was a party and drink and whatnot, and I'm not saying that it takes drink to get it to happen, but it just kind of happened, and you know.
No, I was just curious, that's all,
As to how to approach it and how to make it happen, basically.
Well, not how to make it happen, but how would you actually approach it? Do you know what I mean? Would you just, if it was meant to happen, would you just leave it and let it approach it in its time, or?
And have you ever tried it with? Was it a friend, Gina, that you tried it with?
Yeah.
It was a friend, and both of you. It was something that both of you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And did you ever do it again after that?
Yeah, 2 or 3 times.
2 or 3 times, but you wouldn't describe yourself as a lesbian.
No.
You just fooled around with each other.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
Now Amanda's dying to try that, aren't you, Amanda?
Yeah.
See, look, she's getting all excited even just talking about it. All right, stay there for 1 second. Ailish, why are you so disgusted by this? Hello, Ailish.
Oh, hello?
Oh, hello, that's you, yes.
Yeah, I'm only coming in now. Here.
How are you, Ailish?
I am disgusted about it.
Why?
Women with other women, it's just not right. It's I thought he was on about women going out, and he said they were dancing on the dance floor, rubbing each other up and knocking down. I would have taken that as women doing that for the blokes, to turn the blokes on.
Yeah, no, and
man fantasy.
Yeah, no, and I've seen that going on in clubs, and an awful lot of women do that. But what I'm hearing from these women is they want to go that little bit further. They want to have Amanda, you would like to have...
Oh, they're off their heads.
Amanda, are you still there?
Yeah.
You'd like to have a sexual experience with another woman?
I would, yeah.
More than just
they're off their heads.
More than just a snog?
Well, a snog either, do you know what I mean? Something for the actually...
Has she not seen a good-looking man before?
The what?
She sounds this is a country accent.
Yeah, I am from the country.
Well,
any good-looking blokes?
What's that got to do with anything?
She must have been. She's in the country. She hasn't seen anywhere Dublin before, But
Amanda, have you got a fella?
I have, yeah.
And have you ever discussed this with him?
I have, yeah.
I'd say he was delighted. I'd say he's a big smile on his face. Did he? Well, no, did he, or was he disgusted?
No, he was delighted.
Of course, the blokes are delighted. That's a bloke's thing with a girl. But it's.
But okay, Ailish, you've heard a lot of women on so far who have been with other women, who fancy other women, who would like to try it on with other women, and you think they're all insane.
Is she doing it for him, or is she doing it for herself? Herself.
Well, Amanda, would you like to do it for yourself or for him?
No, of course for myself.
No.
You wouldn't even necessarily want him there, would you?
Well, I'd try it with myself first, of course. Then after a while, if it was more than one like if it was more than one, you know what I mean, meeting once.
Mm-hmm.
Of course,
No,
then
it's
after
just
a
not
while,
right. I heard of all these things. It's usually going on, like in hostels or a jail thing. It's a jail thing with women. I've seen, But there are other women there that swapping, like I with my friends, to swap clothes. I know you're going out to meet a bloke and do this with your hair, do that with your hair, and that's all good. And we go out. To meet a bloke.
So, Ailish, would you ever want to be with another woman? Ailish? Hello?
She's gone.
You there, Ailish?
Oh, I'm here, yeah.
Yeah, will you turn down your radio, please?
Right. Hold on.
Thank you. That's why you can't hear me.
Yeah.
I want to know, does anybody else agree with Ailish on this? That it's disgusting, all of these women talking about wanting to be with other women. Now, are you there, Ailish? Would
yeah.
Would you ever want to be with another woman?
No.
Never.
No way.
Absolutely.
I'm a man's woman.
You're a man's woman.
Yeah.
But Amanda, you're a man's woman as well, are you?
Yeah, well, I just like to have the experience of it, do you know what I mean? Because you never know unless you try it, like, so.
All right, let me bring in some more calls on this. 6797104 is our telephone number. Nicola, you're on FM104. How are you, Nicola?
Hiya.
Now, Nicola, what's your point on all this?
Well, I've experienced with a woman before, and I reckon it's not all too bad. That, I'm into men as well. I'm attracted to fellas, don't get me wrong. But I think women are attractive too in ways.
So, again, you're able to look at a woman and appreciate she's gorgeous, basically.
Yeah, I can look at a woman and appreciate she's gorgeous. Her features, her looks,
And fancy her.
Yeah, I fancy her, yeah.
Fancy her in a sexual way.
Yeah, I've been with a woman sexually, yeah.
And what was the experience like?
It was lovely. It was different. It was just something I can't explain. It was very good.
Now, we were talking, and it's because we were playing that tape in the office today, and a lot of people were saying, no, that can't be true, that 99.9% of women, secretly fantasize about being with another woman. And from the calls that I'm getting so far, it seems that girl was right the other night. Would you agree? I mean, from talking to your friends, do they feel the same?
Well, some of my friends don't like being attracted to women. Some of my friends do.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to them themselves if they ever want to experience it. But I just told them what it was like, and they just kind of went, oh, whatever, and kind of gnawing and hiding at it, and yourself like.
So some of them were thought, yeah, whatever. Others were kind of, oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
And again, you would describe yourself as a straight woman.
Yeah, I'm straight, but I've been with women before.
Oh, you've been with women before?
Yeah.
More than just the one?
Yeah, more than just the one, yeah.
So why aren't you a lesbian then?
Because I don't know, I like fellas as well, but I've just experienced them before, and it's different, When you're in a certain age, I was young when I tried it out, and,
And is that it? Is it out of your system now, or...?
No, I'm still attracted to women.
You're still attracted to women?
Yeah.
And are you in a relationship with a bloke?
No, I'm not, no.
You're not? And would you ever consider getting into a relationship with a woman?
I don't know, I don't think so, no. I don't know, I've never thought about that now.
You've never thought about it that way?
To say it, I've never thought about it, no.
All right, stay there for 1 second. Sonny, you think this is a mortal sin?
Hi.
Hi, Sonny, how are you?
Yeah, I actually do, yeah. It goes back to the beginning. Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve or Eve and Genevieve. Adam and Eve. Is Amanda still there?
Amanda's still there, yeah.
Yeah, well, what's wrong with a man? Did her dad ever tell her that? Listen, this is a mortal sin. Simple as that.
How do you make it out as being a mortal sin?
Because I'm a woman and I like to feel. I was going to say I like the female body. That would be a lie and a mortal sin as well.
What?
I take that back. Are you listening to me?
Hang on. You're saying to feel your own body would be a mortal sin as well?
No, I didn't say that. No. Play it back there if you like. What I'm saying, I said it wrong. I like the male body.
Right.
Call me a head the ball. I like the male body.
No, that's perfectly all right, yeah.
I think that we're all born like that, and if it wasn't for television and all other influences, and people being under pressure that they have to kind of be some kind of way gay, which I'm not at all. I'm a gay person, happy as Larry. But I wouldn't dream. In fact, it's repulsive and disgusting, and it's just vile. And I can't even imagine it, to tell you the truth. It just makes me vomit. Puke.
You think it's that disgusting? So, Amanda...
I really think it's a...
Amanda, you still there?
Now, but I think it's absolutely horrendous.
Now, Amanda, you've not had an experience with another woman, but do fantasise about it.
Yeah.
Now, she's saying that it's disgusting and it's a mortal sin, no less.
Yeah, Adam and Eve.
I don't think it's disgusting.
Well, I mean, it is, Amanda. My goodness, did your daddy never tell you that about men as good as him, maybe, when you get older, to marry, produce children, have happy families, give them good doctrine? What are you going to give to your kids, a lesbian fucking hood?
I didn't say I was going to turn into a lesbian. I said
but you agree with it, so therefore you agree.
No, all she has said, Sonny, is she's not trying to corrupt the minds of kids. All she has said is she would like an awful lot of other women have said so far, to have an experience, a sexual experience with another woman. And you just think...
Right, can I just say something? This 99.9% was from one woman's mouth.
Yes, absolutely,
There was
I agree.
no survey done, so she has no authority or right to speak for 99.9% of the women.
But you see, here's where the thing is, Sonny, and this is what's most interesting. I as I said, when I played that tape today in the office, people were like, no, there's no way 99.9% of women are into other women.
And every house in the country is saying the same thing.
And that's why we decided to discuss it tonight. But from the calls that we're getting so far, the amount of women who have said, oh yeah, I'd love to give it a try, is overwhelming.
Well, I mean, I think it's vile. I'm a woman myself. I'm 35 years of age. I would never even consider it. In fact, it's just sickening, to tell you the truth. I am disgusted if I even see it on the TV. In fact, I would be very mad with the people who do it in the first place, because they are perverting minds out there.
Okay, let me just go back to Nicola, who has actually done it. Are you still there, Nicola?
Yeah, I am.
This is vile. This is immoral. You're corrupting minds. How dare you?
Basically.
Well, I have to say, if I see a pretty girl, I find her very attractive. I think a pretty girl is very beautiful.
Right, well, okay, you're mentally ill, Nicola.
Am I mentally ill?
You need to seek some help. Maybe some Risperdo or something to stop that thought coming into your head that you find women attractive, because that is disgusting and vile. Did you see it in your house? No. The answer to that is no, Nicola. You've seen it on the telly, on the street, and maybe you were approached, or maybe you approached. Now you have to stop the rot, Nicola. The ball is in your court.
You.
Pardon?
I just don't think you're being honest with yourself.
Oh, excuse me.
Well, Sonny, let me ask you. Can you look, Sonny?
You're on that end of the line.
Hang on, Sonny. Can you look at another woman?
I can look at them all right, but not like that.
Okay.
I told you, like the male body. I'm a head to ball. Man.
No, okay, you're into men.
Man, nothing but muscles from Brussels, stallions, everything like that. My God.
Okay, hang on, calm the jets for a second. Okay, I take what you're saying, that you're into men and that's it, and that's all well and good.
My father's daughter.
But can you not look at another woman and fancy her in a sexual way?
Not in the slightest. I put my hands up on the Bible and I say that on air. I would not fantasize for one single tiny second about a woman.
Never, ever, ever.
Ever, 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 ever.
All right, do me a favour.
All right, can I speak?
Yes, go on, Nicola, yeah.
I'm just that way.
What I said was, I've been with a few women, but I have been with men, and yeah, I do find women attractive, but what is wrong with that? Have you got a problem with that, like?
Oh, my goodness. I don't even want to know. Don't answer that, Nicola. Well, I'm sure you're going to say men anyway.
Now, Lucy, you're on FM104. How are you, Lucy?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Lucy. Now, you've been listening to what we're talking about. What do you make of all this?
I think it's all a farce, really. I mean, that woman there, sorry, what was her name, Sonny?
Sonny, yeah.
Jesus, I think her opinions, you're entitled to have your opinion, Sonny, but I think seriously, look, excuse me, sorry, you've had your chance to speak. If you wouldn't mind listening to me, I'd be very grateful. I called for a reason. You've said there now, you've gone ballistic and you've gone on about immortal sin and so on. Like, what puts you in the position to say it's a mortal sin? If those two ladies want, excuse me, if those two ladies want to do what they want to do, that's their opinion. That's their business. It's not yours. And if they want to do it, they want to do it. And you're in no position to cast any stones.
You're telling me what I am. Can I just tell you?
I have not told you nothing. But you're shouting and roaring out of you and saying it's a mortal sin. You'd have us walking down the road in sackcloth and being whipped. If they want to do it, they want to do it. There's nothing wrong with
I can't hear when both of you are shouting. Sorry, Sonny, what were you trying to say there? Go on.
I just think, that they should be all brought to a clinic because they are mentally ill. And
will you catch a wee grip of yourself there, for God's sake? Have a wee word with yourself.
Sooner there may be acceptance to the Almighty who put you here in the first place not to shag a woman.
Oh, for the love of God, woman. Your wee husband must be absolutely tormented living with you. I see you preach to him morning, noon and night. Yeah, honest to God, let them do what they want to do. What has it got to do with you?
I have to say something about it.
Oh, don't be so stupid. It's not mentally ill. It's a natural thing for another woman to look at a woman's body and find it attractive.
They're mentally ill.
But okay, Lucy,
have a word with yourself there, woman.
Lucy, is there not a difference between, as you said, a woman looking at another woman and appreciating her beauty and all of that, but then wanting to go that step further and have a sexual experience with her?
Well, look, at the way I see it, right, I would look at another woman and I would say, look, she's got a fine body, fine ass, fine legs, fine whatever, okay? And I'm sure blokes say the same thing too. I mean, I've often spoke about this to my husband even, and I would say to him, Jesus, she's a quite good-looking woman. She's got a fine body on her. And he would say to me, that's a good-looking fella. He's a really good-looking bloke. But if they want to do what they want to do...
but hang on. I think an awful lot of us can appreciate, a good-looking member of the same sex. But to want to take it that step further and have a sexual experience, is that not a bit different? I mean, have you ever wanted to be with another woman?
I can't say I've ever looked at a particular woman, and thought, Jesus, I'd like to get it on with her. But I have to admit that, yes, I've seen scenes and films and everything, and I've often wondered what would it be like to be with another woman. And I'm not going to lie and tell you I don't, because I do. I would look at another woman sometimes in a movie and I would think, Jesus, I wonder what it would be like. I wonder would it be different to be with a woman than it would be to be with a man. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's nothing wrong with it at all. Nothing.
Well, now there you go, Sonny. She's never done anything, but
she's in the closet, though. She just hasn't,
Oh, catch a wee grip of yourself, woman, in a closet. Do you know what it is? You're so far in the closet, you're in fucking Narnia.
Oh, go on now. Don't be offended. If you give it, you should be able to
offended? Listen to you. Do you stand in the pulpit on a Sunday preaching to everybody? Did you run a Sunday
movie, no doubt, and just fancied the woman. Wondered what it would be like to be the man there. Now, come on.
Oh, for the love of God, woman, I swear to God.
Yourself.
Where were you brought up? In the bog?
Right, I'm saying it. That's why I'm saying it is for the love of God.
Oh, aye. Well, you carry on now in your wee life and you stay within that little cocoon that you've built yourself into.
I will indeed. I'd rather be a fucking freak than belong here with all ye.
Freak.
Let me bring in some more calls on this. Lika, you're on FM104. How are you?
Yeah, hi Adrian, how you doing?
Very well, thank you. Now, you are a lesbian.
Yeah.
You class yourself as a lesbian.
I do, yeah.
And you can see, well, obviously being a lesbian, you can see why all women would like a lesbian experience.
Well, I don't know if I'd say all, but I'd say most anyway. I just think women are kind of more comfortable with trying other things sexually, as in being with another woman, than men. And kind of women are more just emotional and soft, and I think that kind of helps. They're not kind of rigid and fixed like men are, where it's a big deal if you just thought of another man and wanted to sleep with him, like Jesus Christ. And I think, I don't know, I think being with another woman, it's a totally different experience. I can understand why straight women would be curious. It's just a totally different energy of being with another woman. And
in what way? Describe what you mean here.
It's different because, like, when you're with a man, he has a particular energy. He's male, he's masculine. When you're with a woman, she's more soft. So there'd be more, say, kind of foreplay. There'd be more talking. The sex itself would be more softer. Not that it can't be, kind of rough and stuff, but it's just very different than being with a man. Like, and I've been with men, so I know also.
Okay, but you've been with men, but decided at the end of the day that it's women are the people you want to be with.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And you can understand why. I mean, I don't know how.
I can understand because it's totally different experience. From my experience, so to speak, I can understand why a woman
here's the bit of the
woman.
conversation that kind of surprises me somewhat. If this conversation was the exact opposite, and if this was about men and 99.9% of men wanting to have an experience with other men, I can guarantee you we'd have a very different conversation. Why is that? Why do people... I mean, why wouldn't lads admit that?
I just think there's, as I said, I think women are just... I suppose maybe classing women as being emotional and being soft has consequently also made them just more open and more, with men, like if a man cries, it's a big deal and all this stuff. So I think just the position that women have been put in by men, as in them being femme and soft and more emotional, has also opened the door to them to experiment more, or to, be kind of straight with themselves and say, yeah, I fancy a woman, or yeah, I want to try, sleeping with a woman or whatever. Well, with a man, it's more of a big deal to even say that. Even if he thought that between himself, it's just not acceptable for him to be in touch with his emotions or to be comfortable with his sexuality or to try it, I think that kind of makes it more of an issue with a man than maybe with a woman. I don't know.
All right, stay there for a moment. Let me try and bring in more calls on this. 6797104. As a matter of interest, Leisha, when you say you were with men in the past, and was it a case that you decided you must be lesbian because you prefer being with women, or how did that come about? And is it primarily a sexual thing or a relationship thing that you prefer women?
Women, it's both. It's emotional and sexual. I was with men, and then I fell in love with women. For a woman, sorry. So that's how I got into women. But then, when I started sleeping with women, that's where I kind of thought, okay, I don't particularly like men. I don't like their energies. I don't like their bodies really. There could be now an exceptional man where I'd look at him and I'd like him and I'd say, okay, I'd want to sleep with you. But I wouldn't class myself as bisexual just because I slept with him, and I definitely wouldn't have a relationship with him a lot. I'd only sleep with him and I'd leave it at that.
Now, Tricia, you're on FM104. How are you, Tricia?
I am not too bad, yeah.
Tricia, firstly on the figure we were talking about earlier on, this kind of made-up figure, I'm trying to find out how accurate it is, that 99.9% of women have either been with another woman or fantasised about it. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely I do, yeah.
And would that include you?
Well, it would include me, yeah.
And have you ever?
I have been with a girl, yeah.
In a sexual way, or just messing around, or...?
In a sexual way, yeah. And I'm straight, but I've been with a girl.
Now, how does that work, that you can be straight and be with a girl?
I don't know what it is, but it's just something like... It's different for fellas. They can look at fellas... Fellas look at fellas, of course they're going to be like, oh no, can't look at another fella. But with girls, they're much more attractive, and other girls can look at girls without being gay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the bit I'm very curious about, because if a bloke was to be on here saying I'm straight but I've been with a bloke, people would view it very differently.
Yeah, but it's different for fellas. Fellas are more masculine and more oh Jesus, I couldn't be with a fella now. But for girls, it's completely different. A fella would be turned on if a girl was with a girl, but a girl wouldn't be turned on if a fella was with a fella. Do you know what I mean?
I'm always curious as to why that is. And I've had this conversation with women before about why they wouldn't be turned on by seeing two blokes together in the same way that a bloke would be turned on seeing two women together.
Because girls are much sexier than fellas.
Is that what it is?
I think that's what it is there. And your woman, Sonny, is she still on air?
Are you still there, Sonny?
Yeah, I'm here.
I mean, I absolutely...
What's your name, please?
She's cutting in on everyone. I felt sorry for that.
I just want to say something. It's not possible for two women to have sex.
I'm speaking. It's my turn. You've had your turn.
How can two women have sex?
This is the 21st century here. If them girls want to do what they want to do, you leave them alone.
Sorry, hang on, Tricia. I'm interested in the question that Sonny's trying to ask here. Go on, Sonny. Ask away.
You can't have sex. Two women, it's not possible to have sex. Now, they can say that they're doing this, that, and the other, and my goodness, we know what they're doing. But they will never be able to have sex.
Well, that's not the point. If the girl wants to be with a girl, what's the problem?
Passing fluids into the other body. That is sex. Now, you can cod yourself all day, and surely you will in your own place, but you're not having sex. You're having foreplay.
But they never said they were having sex.
And you never will have sex unless it's with a man.
But you're bringing everything into it, Adam and Eve and God and the moral
Yeah,
sin
but
and everything.
that's where it started. But you don't have to linger on that. Linger on the fact that you're never going to have sex with a woman.
But all the girls that are on, all the women that are on, they're not saying they're having sex with women. They're just saying that they're doing about being with girls.
Because anybody with half a brain knows that you'll never have sex.
Simple as that, Sonny.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I'm going because I'm getting bothered here.
Okay,
I'm sorry to spring the bad news, but someone has to do it in the name of the Father.
Right, yeah. Tricia, obviously you feel people with that sort of attitude are a little bit... Well,
I understand. I understand what people saying. Some people aren't very don't accept things like that. But that's a bit much.
All right, stay there for a second. Let me go to Sandra. You're on FM104. Sandra, how are you?
I'm grand. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Now, Sandra, what category, I don't know if we ever should categorise ourselves, but what category would you put yourself into? Are you lesbian? Are you straight? Are you bisexual? What are you?
Well, I'm very sexual with girls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with a fella at the moment, but he finds girls to me very attractive. He thinks it's a turn on.
Sorry, he thinks it's a turn on for you to be with other women?
Yeah.
And do you do it just for him?
No, I don't do it just for him. I do it for myself too, because when I see a pretty girl and I look at her, I think, oh my God, she's gorgeous. I'd love to have her body. I'd love to have this. And I think,
so what is it? Is it a jealousy thing? Is it a jealousy thing? An envious thing? What is it?
No, it's just interest and just the way he thinks about it is two girls together is really sexual, like.
And I'm sure a huge percentage of the men listening to the show right now would agree that it is a big turn on to see two women together. I don't know if they all are into it, but did you have an experience with a woman before you got with your fella?
Pardon?
Had you had an experience with another woman before you got with your fella?
Yeah, I've had experience with women before I got with my fella, yeah.
And was it you that kind of brought it up, or... I mean, how did the conversation come up and how did you get around to doing it yourselves?
Well, we talked about it. He said, we're watching a movie one night and he said, were you ever with a girl? I said, yeah. I said, I've been with a few girls. And he says, oh my God. He says, I'd love to see you with another woman. He says, it'd be such a turn on. So I tried it before, and me and my boyfriend have had experiences with other women with me as well.
And obviously he enjoys it. And does he get involved? Does it become a threesome, or does he just watch?
He watches and then he gets involved. But, I'm not saying that I'm total lesbian, but being attracted to women is something that I enjoy.
See, again, you've heard a lot of people. Would you agree then with the figure that we were using earlier on, that 99.9% of women have either had an experience with another woman or fantasize about it?
I do agree with that, because a lot of women don't face up to the facts that they're really attracted to women, that they're just really hidden. But I think there's an awful lot of women out there that are pretending that they're not attracted, that they really are. All my friends have kids and are married, and a lot of them are very attracted to women.
But, you see, I think, okay, women are able to look at other women and say and appreciate her for her beauty and her body and blah-de-blah-de-blah. But it's going that step further of being sexually attracted to them, of saying to yourself, I want to get in bed with that woman.
Yeah, I've been like that.
But do you think most women feel that way or have that feeling?
I'd say so, yeah.
Sandra, you describe yourself as a very straight woman. Are you there, Sandra?
I am, yes.
Another Sandra here.
I wasn't sure if you're talking to me or not.
You describe yourself as a very straight woman.
Very straight, I am. I am a straight woman. I have 2 children.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd be extremely attracted to other women. Now, I'm not a bad-looking girl myself, like, do you know what I mean? And you'd often be out, but I just find myself always being attracted to women. Now, I'm not a lesbian by any means. I'm not at all. I'm purely straight, but it's just a thing of women. It's just. I mean, I've had a couple of experiences, and I loved them, and I don't see nothing wrong with it at all. Nothing.
You don't see anything wrong with it at all?
Not a thing, not a thing.
And is it something that you would love to get an opportunity to try at some stage?
Say again?
Is it something that you would love to get an experience of at some stage in your life?
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, I already have.
Oh, you already have?
Yes, I already have, yes.
How did that come about?
It was a friend of mine. We were drinking and we're very open-minded. Like it's something that I would talk very openly about. It's not, and it just came about, a few drinks, and we just decided to give it a go, and it was great. And like I find that I would often be out and I'd be the type of girl that would, you're walking in the street and you see a good looking fella, you always check out the girl. Not because you're attracted to them, but because you're like, oh, what's his girlfriend like? But when you're out, I would be attracted to good looking women, kind of nice looking sexual women, if you can understand what I mean. And
when you had that, was that a one-off experience you had?
Twice.
Twice? With the same person?
No.
Oh, right. And how did the other time come about? Because the reason I'm asking these questions is because a number of the women that you heard earlier on said they would love to try something like that, but just don't know how to go about it.
It's just. Well, basically, both of the times I was drinking at home. I wasn't. It was with friends. It was with friends that we were drinking at home. We got talking and it just came about. We got talking about it, and she would, the girl in question, the first girl in question, she was bisexual, and she said, "Would you ever consider it?" And I was like, "Well, I never really thought about it, but I do find myself, thinking, oh, she's gorgeous, like, but not even. It's strange to put it across, like." I could imagine myself kissing her, or that sort of thing. It's a girl thing. It's completely different to men. It's like it's okay for women to do it, but not for I wouldn't enjoy looking at two men.
And were you married at the time?
No.
Oh, you weren't married at the time?
No, I wasn't, no.
All right. No. And from the experience, is it one of those things that you're glad you had the experience and you're happy to leave it at that? Or were there certain things about having an experience with another woman that you kind of wish you could have again? Do you understand the question?
I wish you could have again, absolutely. I mean, I think that women, they are a little bit more affectionate. We're on the same level, let's put it that way. And, I wouldn't say I'll never not do it again, because I probably will. Mm-hmm. And, if there's a guy involved, that wouldn't bother me, but it's not something that I wouldn't definitely say I wouldn't do it again. It was an eye opener, and it was.
But a pleasant eye opener by the sounds of it.
Yeah, it was great.
All right, so
it was good fun. It was good fun.
All right, hang on there for a moment. Now, Emma, you reckon all these women who've dabbled with other women need to stop hiding their true feelings?
That's exactly it, yeah.
You're a lesbian yourself.
I am indeed, yeah.
And all of these women need to get out of the closet now and come forward.
And I think that a lot of people are just actually afraid to come out at the moment, with the people, like myself. Like, it took me, I'm 26, and I only came out when I was 23.
And you reckon that a lot of the women that we've been talking to tonight are
just too not ashamed, but just too scared, don't know what way to come out about it. Especially if they're in a relationship already with a man, already have kids, it's even harder for them to come out.
Of course it is, but what I've heard from a lot of women is that, I mean, again, Sandra, you describe yourself as a very straight woman.
Yeah, I fancy men to bits.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't give that up under any circumstances. But I wouldn't consider myself bisexual either. I would, I've had two experiences in my whole life. I'm 35 years of age. But I wouldn't consider myself bisexual, and I wouldn't consider myself gay or hiding in the closet or whatever you want to put it, because I find men extremely attractive as well. And I would be more inclined to go for a man, but there is often times that I've seen a woman and thought that she's gorgeous and
So Emma, I mean, you're hearing what she's saying, and she's not saying she's a lesbian. She's saying she's had an experience with a woman or two, enjoyed it, but that's really it. Wouldn't mind doing it again, but she's not lesbian.
No.
But you're not bisexual either, Sandra.
But that's what bisexuality is.
Well, you are bisexual, though, is it?
Well, no, I wouldn't. You know, I suppose you could categorise it into that. But I mean, I think bisexuality is something that someone will constantly be going between woman and man, woman and man. I'm not really like that. If I'm going out, I date fellas. I haven't been with a woman in a long time. That's not to say that I wouldn't look at a woman and find her attractive. Or that's not to say if a situation arose that I wouldn't say no.
But do you find them sexually attractive, Sandra, or just attractive?
Say again?
Do you find them sexually attractive or like just attractive?
I find them sexually attractive.
She's already admitted that she does find some of them sexually attractive.
I wouldn't find every woman, or I wouldn't find every good-looking woman. It's a certain woman or a certain, somebody that would, I'd say, and if I can be rude and say, but like I could say, oh God, I wouldn't mind me, him and her, if you understand my meaning, not just particularly her, but it's not, I wouldn't consider myself bisexual.
All right, thank you very much indeed, Sandra, for your call. Thank you all of you for your calls. I have to leave it at that.